Hey there, Lala here. I'm back with part 2 of my mouth taping alternative solution. If you haven't already seen part 1, do watch that video first because that video shows the easiest modification done on my favorite mouth guard. And I won't be repeating that modification technique in this video. Since I was so blown away by the Subity brand in part 1, I decided to test their single-sided guard alongside the Fairywill brand, which is also a single-sided guard. Both require an extra step to work as an alternative to mouth taping, but if you need the most minimal guard for comfort, it might be a great option for you and worth the extra step. So you won't be able to put these together in your mouth because if you do that, you won't get a complete seal. You'll just get a seal where your teeth clench together. So you don't want any gaps. You want this to be a nice seal. So I just used my blade. You might want to rest this down on a table, on a flat surface, and take your blade and push it in, and then you'll just be able to rotate this around, and then pop this piece out. This Fairywill brand comes with 10 guards, and that'll make 5 double-sided guards. So they come sealed like this, each individual one, and they have a little tab on them. And as you can see, that's a single-sided guard. And I'm just going to line these pieces up. And clip them together. Okay, this actually starts folding over on itself pretty quick. So you gotta unfold those edges and then put it on. Now remember, all we're trying to do here is get those two pieces molded together. You're going to want to fold out those edges if you can. I'm going to fold those up while it's still a little bit warm. And then pop it in the cold water. Like I said, this is because it's thin, it's a little flimsier. You just want to try and keep those edges from folding down. Okay, that looks good. All right, so we're doing the second step on the Fairywill brand now. I'm just going to take this off because it's already really held together very well. So we're going to put this in till I can tell it's softening up. All right, that was about 20 seconds. We're going to make sure none of the sides are folded down, which that is right there. Gotta get it folded up pretty quick before we put it in our mouth. As soon as you get the mouth guard into place, start pressing the front against your teeth to smooth it out, and smooth out the back side with your tongue. And the whole time you'll be sucking out the air to get a really good fit. That'll help create a good seal too. And just check for a good seal before you take it out. And this side folded down a little bit. Let me see how that fits. This one doesn't reheat very well, so if it fits okay, I don't want to risk ruining it. This is actually the last set of these mouth guards I have, and just to show you, I've had some really bad fails. This one didn't even make it to this stage where we were putting it in. The sides fold in really easy, so it's a good thing they give you 10 of these because you're going to have quite a few fails. So while this one didn't mold perfectly, this is still going to work because it doesn't have to completely be a perfect mold. You're only using this to remind your mouth to stay closed. So it has to just create a little bit of a suction. And as long as it does that, then it's a successful piece. So this one's going to work. I'm not going to try and remold it again because I know from experience that trying to remold this particular brand doesn't really work very well, and I don't want to lose this mouth guard. So I do want to show you that I've had some mold perfectly fine. So this is a perfect one. This worked out great. And I think because the material is so thin, which is what makes it very comfortable, but being a very thin material right here, you just can't mold it too many times. We're already molding it once to put the two pieces together, and then again to mold it to our teeth, and that's about the limit that this thinner material can take. I'm still going to call this a success because, whoop, upside down, because it's comfortable and it still seals. The last step for this Fairywill brand is to cut these tabs off. If you used curved scissors, you can get really close to the mouth guard. If you don't have curved scissors, the other ones will work too, but this just cuts nice and close. And now you have a perfectly smooth front and a mouth guard that seals. The Subity mouth guard comes with 4 single-sided guards, so you'll be able to make 2 double-sided guards. Unfortunately, they're 2 different sizes, so you'll probably only end up with one that's the perfect fit. But I do think most people will be able to wear the smaller one because you're only trying to create a seal at the front of your mouth, so you don't need a large guard that's going to go all the way back and cover your molars. So for that reason, I would start with the larger one first. That way you can use it as your test one, and you can always trim it down and make it fit so it won't go to waste. But I think the smaller one will work best for most people, especially since what you're going for is a minimal guard. You want to get it as lined up as possible, especially in the front there. And then just push the paper clips on to secure it. You want to get that on here as quick as possible. And this one doesn't collapse on itself, so it goes on really easy. And try and get that front part sealed first. So press down really good there. And you got to give it a good amount of pressure because we really need this to seal correctly. The nice thing about this brand, the sides are really sturdy, so they don't collapse on themselves like the other one. I tried so many things to try and make it so I wouldn't have to do this step, but this worked the best, so that's what I'm showing you. I think I'm going to give it another little dip in. This one can handle being heated up multiple times. So I'm just going to dip that in for a second longer. Just to press that front edge down a little more. Now we're going to take the paper clips off. And just like before, as soon as you get it in, you start smoothing the front with your fingers and the back side with your tongue and sucking the air out. And of course, test for the seal before you take it out. Wow. Again, this is really comfortable material. That molded really nice. It's probably a little big for me, and I'll need to do the little one too, but that's really nice. So for part 3, we'll see if I'm still using my original Subity one that I love so much, or if one of these two becomes the new Binky. I'm curious to know myself. So I will be trying these for a couple of weeks and really give them a good test. And then also when I come back, I'll be able to tell you if I'm kind of training my mouth to be able to stay closed at night. I'm really curious about that. So that would be great. I think it would be great. Honestly, I really like wearing my mouth guard. I love the way I sleep with it. It makes all the difference in the world. All right? I'm excited to find out, and I hope you'll come back and check out part 3. Please, if you found this helpful, support my channel by liking and subscribing. I would really appreciate it. We'll see you again.